So, a war that was promised to be short, punishing, and, politically manageable has spiraled into a total strategic nightmare. Okay, let's get right into this, because what's happening right now is a masterclass in how modern conflicts become forever wars.
The initial sales pitch was pretty simple. A quick, decisive strike to bring Iran to its knees. The whole idea was to show overwhelming force, get a clean political win, and be done with it. It was supposed to be over in weeks.
But yeah, that's not what happened, not even close. Instead, Washington is bogged down in a conflict that's prolonged, unbelievably expensive, and it's destabilizing the entire globe. That quick win has turned into an agonizing grind, and the political costs are piling up fast.
And here's the first major consequence, right here at home. The president's approval rating has plummeted to just 36%. You see, a long war stops being seen as an act of leadership, and it becomes a test of competence. And right now, the public is deeply skeptical.
And it's hitting Americans right where it hurts the most, their wallets. The chaos in global energy has pushed U.S. gas prices above $4 a gallon. That's a number that gets everybody's attention, from the kitchen table to the White House. This isn't some abstract foreign policy debate anymore. It's a daily cost for millions of households.
So how on earth did we get here? Well, to understand this, you have to understand Iran's strategy. It's not about winning on the battlefield in a traditional sense. It's about pulling the US into what we can call an endurance trap. Let me break this down for you because the two sides aren't even playing the same game. The US wants a knockout punch, a fast, decisive win. Iran, on the other hand, knows it can win a conventional fight. So its goal is completely different. Just survive, keep hitting back, and use its geography to inflict maximum economic pain on the world.
This concept is absolutely crucial. Iran doesn't need to defeat the US military, it just needs to endure. Success for Tehran isn't measured in territory gained, but by its ability to disrupt markets, drive up oil prices, and make the war so costly for everyone that Washington is forced to back down.
And here's where it gets really dangerous. Iran's ultimate leverage is its geography. By threatening the Strait of Hormuz, that critical choke point for the world's energy supply, Tehran could basically put its hand on the throat of the global economy without ever needing to win a major battle. So why not just talk? Well, because diplomacy is pretty much a dead end. From Tehran's perspective, the US withdrawal from the 2015 nuclear deal, well, that destroyed any faith they had left in American promises. They don't see talks as a path to peace. They see them as a stalling tactic, just a way for the US to regroup for the next attack.
So let's shift gears and look at how this pressure is causing absolute chaos inside the US government. The strain of a failing strategy is starting to show, and the cracks are widening. This is the part they don't want you to see. Think about this message. This isn't the language of a commander in calm control. It's the language of raw frustration, of improvisation, of a leader lashing out because the enemy just isn't folding the way they were supposed to. And the fallout is everywhere. The defense secretary is purging senior military leaders in the middle of a war, creating instability when cohesion is needed most. Key NATO allies aren't just staying silent, they are publicly refusing to help. And America's partners in the Gulf, they are terrified of getting dragged into a conflict that could see them pay the highest price. The entire support structure for this war is crumbling. And this single statement from France just illustrates how isolated Washington has become. When a core ally like France has to publicly state that NATO's defensive pact doesn't apply to an offensive war in the Gulf, it just strips away any illusion of a united international front. But amidst all this chaos, a potential off-ramp has emerged from the most unlikely of places, inside Iran. A ghost of a deal, proposed by a very prominent and now very controversial figure. So, is there actually a way out of this mess? Well, a voice from Iran's recent past has stepped forward with a detailed plan. A man who believes Tehran can and should declare victory and make a deal. And that man is Mohammad Javad Zarif. As the former foreign minister, he is the face of Iranian diplomacy to the West. He's the man who negotiated the 2015 nuclear deal, and he represents a faction in Iran that believes compromise with the West is not only possible, but necessary. His proposal is actually pretty rational and step-by-step. First, Iran declares victory for surviving the initial assault. Then, it agrees to tangible limits on its nuclear program and reopens the Strait of Hormuz. In return, it gets sanctions relief to rebuild its economy. It's basically a revival of the 2015 deal's logic,
trading nuclear concessions for economic relief, but in a much bloodier context.
But his proposal was met with absolute fury back home. Hardliners immediately branded him a traitor. They called his plan a complete capitulation to the enemy, and even demanded his arrest for espionage.
The irony here is just brutal. Zarif sees an opportunity born from resilience, but his critics see weakness. In the middle of a war, when national pride is on the line, any talk of compromise becomes politically toxic. For many Iranians, the only acceptable path is steadfast resistance, not a negotiated settlement. And this brings us to the burning truth, the core, unresolvable paradox at the heart of this forever war. Both sides desperately want an exit, but their paths lead in completely opposite directions. So the crucial point is this: success for Trump means getting out, but only if he can claim Iran was forced to bend to his will. But for Iran, success is defined by the exact opposite: surviving the pressure and refusing to bend at all. Their definitions of victory are mutually exclusive.
And this is the question that leaves us in this dangerous limbo. How does a war like this ever end? When one side's definition of peace is the other side's definition of surrender, you don't get a resolution. You get a forever war.
There's no easy answer here. What do you think is the only viable path to de-escalation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to understand the forces shaping our world, make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications. We deliver clear, concise analysis on global affairs every single day. Thanks for watching.